Hey guys, Vincent here. We're just out for a quick dive today. I've got about 1.5 hours and we're going to be targeting some snapper. I've got a little bit of burley from last night that we shot where I didn't have much luck on the snapper, but I think I found out where they are, and yeah, I'm just going to go set a burley first and then go for an hour snoop, check the burley and head home. Hopefully it turns out pretty good.
Before jumping in the water with my burley, I decided to go for a quick swim around and just check to see if there were any snapper. The area that I was looking to set a burley had quite a bit of current and looked like it had some really good ledges, so it always pays to check if you can. As you can see here, I'm starting the day off in about 1 metre of water right up against the coast. To target snapper, you really do not need to be in deep water, and you'll quite often find them in 1 metre or less. Some of the largest snapper I've seen, up to about 25 pound, have been in the shallows, with one being in about 1/2 metre of water. When hunting snapper in such shallow water, I'm looking for objects that break the swell or areas that provide snapper a bit of cover. So as you can see here, I'm looking for deeper guts or larger boulders or bommies, and just something where they can hide without being pushed around too much. So at the base of this gut, it would be perfect. I wouldn't imagine there'd be much swell down there, so yeah, it always pays to check. Spot the small snapper if you can. I carried on for about another 5 or so minutes and found this one reasonably high up in the water column. I was hoping to see if I could find something a bit better, so I kind of looked over the ledge, but having not shot much yesterday, decided to go take this little guy. It was still legal. I think it was about 38-40 centimetres, so not too bad. With time running out, I quickly swam back to the boat, threw him in the bucket and grabbed the burley. I decided to go set a burley where I'd just seen that snapper. It didn't have an awful lot of current and it was a little bit surgy, but normally if you find one snapper and you set a burley there, you'll find more. Here I am just breaking up some kinner. Unfortunately I forgot to film putting the fish down on the ledge, but when I chucked the frames down, a couple more eels came out to have a feed, so it's not always a good sign. I was in a bit of a rush, so I carried on to the next spot, and this was the very first dive at the next spot. It looked really good. I'd just seen a gap. This is the left hand side is the shoreline, and I'd just seen these gap in the rocks, and yeah, popped my head over and a couple nice snapper were just sitting there. I was trying to figure out which one was bigger, but once I'd done that, I pushed out and took a shot. The snapper actually spooked as I pushed out, and I got a very terrible shot in, which is why I'm letting the fish run so much. Injured snapper often hole up, so I was really hoping he was going to go in a hole, but I wasn't going to risk it, and he looked like he was going to start tangling up in the kelp, so I dove down and grabbed him. Not sure if you saw the boat in the left hand side of the screen, but I was really only 10 or 15 metres away from the boat, so quickly icky this one and yeah, swam back and threw him in the boat and then carried on moving. This was a nice deep crack that went up into the shoreline, and quite often you'll find snapper parked up down deep, or actually sometimes even quite high up in the water column. It's normally often quite still, and the snapper find it a great place to rest up, but fortunately I didn't find any. After swimming about 20-25 minutes of dead coastline, I found this one. I actually managed to turn my GoPro on after already seeing it. I'd seen it from the surface, backed away, turned my camera on, and took a bit of a long shot. I really wasn't sure on the shot, so I just let the fish run. And yeah, as you're about to see, that was a great decision. Once the snapper had burned a bit of energy and was lying on the bottom, I quickly dove down and tried to pull the fish in. It was at this time I actually realised the flopper was about to come out and managed to just push it through in time. Got very lucky with that one. I wasn't too sure on the time, so after shooting this, I decided to go back to the boat and check.
Oh, that was pretty good going. That was 30 minutes on the snoop and managed to pick up two quite nice snapper. Yeah, got that first one literally first dive of the day, just popped in and I saw two. And I wasn't sure if the other one behind it was any bigger or not, but once I saw both of them I realised this was the biggest one and took a shot just as he turned and only just managed to get him through the skin here. And yeah, nice little penny. And then carried on for another 30 minutes and hadn't really seen much until I came to a kind of a rock sitting off the coast a bit and managed to smack that one. So yeah, that one's quite a good fish. Saw him from the surface, backed away, turned my GoPro on, came over again, and didn't really think I should dive on him. I thought I might spook him, and yeah, took a fairly long shot, tried to stone him, and got him just above the eye, but just below the kind of the brain here that sits out here. And the shaft pushed through, but then the flopper came back through, and I don't know if you can see in the video or not, but I actually saw the flopper come back out, and the flopper was just sitting out here, so I managed to push the shaft back through and yeah, landed quite a nice fish. So with my little guy from before, I've now got three quite nice snapper and I've still got about half an hour of snooping, so I think I might just try another spot and yeah, pick up something else maybe.
After hopping in at the last spot of the day, it looked really fishy, so I continued snooping right up in the shallows and looking in some of the deeper guts. You can see that I'm getting very shallow, and on occasion I do get pushed up onto the rocks, but it's just what you have to do when you're looking for snapper in the shallows. I just seen a few small snapper about 30 to 35 centimetres sitting in this gut. That is a very good sign, so I decided to slow right down and came over this ledge right here. If you look closely, you might be able to see a few snapper hanging off in the distance. They weren't too large, but they would have been 45 centimetres. As I look to my right, I spot quite a nice snapper. So, not being in a great position, decided to turn around and try and have another approach on the snapper. After backing away, I try to move further down the ledge and try and intercept where I think the snapper is going to be. After swimming to just about where I thought the snapper was going to be, I took a quick silent duck dive, and just peering over this ledge here, I actually see a snapper down to my right, and unfortunately the big snapper was to my left, right in front of me. After spooking that one, I carried on swimming along the ledge out into a little bit deeper water. I came this kind of crevice that ran between these two rocks here, and it looked really good. I saw a little bit of bait fish on top of the reef, and yeah, just came over here very slowly. And yeah, that's a big snapper. I knew I wasn't in a great position, so I backed away and got low. But you can see he kind of got onto me, but just not quick enough. Right there, I should have actually had my reel a little bit looser. That tug, fortunately, ripped the shaft. I had a little bit too high and just missed the stone shot by a few centimetres. But yeah, very unlucky. But sometimes it happens. I didn't film it, but I actually had a few dives in the surrounding area trying to find the snapper, and unfortunately I wasn't able to, and with time very quickly running out, I decided to make the call and swim back to the boat and check my burley. I checked the burley, but there wasn't really anything on it, so I don't actually know if I saved the footage, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah.